Hello and welcome back to the weekly Cars.co.za news. I'm David Taylor, and in today's episode, the brand new Toyota Hilux has leaked early. All you need to know about South Africa's cheapest electric car. Plus, Volvo reckons the premium sedan market is not quite dead. And before we get into this week's news episode, remember that Cars.co.za is not just a YouTube channel. We also buy and sell vehicles. We have 74,000 vehicles for sale on the site. Surely you'll be able to find something. Plus, we also have useful tools to make your car buying journey, which is now even simpler with WhatsApping the dealer. Right, music. First story of the week, a brand new Hilux. We haven't said that in a very long time. And as a reminder, the Toyota Hilux generally has a decade-long lifespan with a couple of updates along the way, which is the complete opposite to what we're normally seeing now with a facelift every 18 months and an all-new generation of a car in 2 to 3 years. So this is quite important. This is like a comet. It comes every now and then and everyone sits back and listens. On your screen right now is apparently a brochure leak of the new Toyota Hilux. And you can see the front end and you can see the side and a bit of the tail lamp. And we've made these really cool renders. So we think we've got the design pretty much spot on. Now, not much else is known. Toyota likes to go, no, we're not going to tell you anything until the actual reveal. And at this stage, we want to know, do you think it'll be an all-new platform like the Prado setup, or it's going to be an updated version of the outgoing model? I really hope it's on the Prado platform. I'm really impressed with the way that thing is packaged and the way it drives. Speaking of Prado, I also hope the new Hilux has that interior. Like, how nice does the standard Prado's cabin look? And I think one of the current Hilux's biggest shortcomings is how old that cabin now looks in comparison to the rest of the segment. If you look at like a Ford Ranger and a BYD Shark, those things are light years ahead. On the engine front, it is believed the GD series of diesels will be carried over. But why does this matter? Remember that the Toyota Hilux has been South Africa's best-selling vehicle for 50 years. If you go through our archive of sales figures, every month at the front, at the top, the Toyota Hilux. And it's not even close. The margins are massive. Toyota Hilux is not just a bakkie, it is the lifeblood of South African motoring. And let's not forget that the Toyota Hilux is also built right here in South Africa too, at Toyota's plant in Prospecton, which is in KZN. Right, when's it coming? Rumors say that the Toyota Hilux will be revealed before the end of 2025, and it's likely to go on sale in South Africa in 2026. Watch this space. On to the next story, and on your screen right now, this will be South Africa's cheapest electric car. Now, look, I'll be honest, I've mentioned this BYD before, but now we have more official details thanks to Cars.co.za's Toyota Sienna, who at this moment is currently on a flight back from China. Now, he's driven it. Now, before we used to call it the BYD Seagull or BYD Dolphin Mini, but in fact, when it goes on sale as early as next month, that's September 2025, SA's cheapest electric car will be the BYD Atto 1. Pricing, officially it's not out, but we understand that this vehicle is going to be under 350,000 Rand. Now, when you think about it, when last could you get a digitally connected electric car for under 500,000 Rand? BYD said, right, you can have this thing for 350,000 Rand. That is nuts. Now, for context, physically, this thing is the same size as a Mini Cooper, and if I go through the technical documents, 2 battery sizes, 30 kilowatt hour, 42 kilowatt hour, and range claims of around 220 kilometers to 320 kilometers. But there's a very interesting caveat range claim, if I may. 500 kilometers of urban range is possible based on WLTP. Now take that with a pinch of salt. All these range claims are a little bit hypothetical. But when you're saying 500 kilometers of urban range, so that's max speed around 80 k's an hour, this starts to look like quite brilliant daily for those who live in cities. If you live in a city and are doing less than 100 kilometers a day, I mean, I use my wife as an example. She drives 15 kilometers a week. This could be a good candidate for her. Now, especially if you can also plug it into the wall of your garage. You don't need to find a public fast charger. The batteries are small. You can simply plug it into the wall like one of these lights. That's so simple. And I think BYD with the Atto 1 could have an absolute winner on its hands here. Finally, onto the last story for the week, and I know the world is obsessed with SUVs. I mean, you look at Audi, BMW, Merc, and how many SUVs they have, and the sedans are slowly dying. But Volvo is one of those brands that thinks that the sedan has still got legs. And picture this, on your screen right now, the ES90. Now, this is Volvo's answer to the 5 Series, or specifically the i5, and the Mercedes-Benz E-Class. And the good news is it's coming to South Africa in 2026. Right now, the Volvo ES90 is all electric. I would have liked to have seen a plug-in hybrid option, but you know what Volvo is like. We're going to do as much electric as we can. I can see three derivatives. Now, listen carefully. Listen to this. Rear-wheel drive, 245 kilowatts, 480 newtons, 0 to 100, 7 seconds, range 650 kilometers. That sounds pretty decent. But then it starts getting interesting, and Volvo says, hold my IKEA furniture, watch this. All-wheel drive, 330 kilowatts, 670 newton meters, 0 to 100 in 5.5, 700 kilometers of range. But wait, like a Verimark ad, that's not all. The flagship, 500 kilowatts, 870 newton meters, 0 to 100 in 4 seconds, and a range of 700 kilometers. That is going to be an absolute monster. Let's talk about that design. I really like how elegant and graceful it is. It's so classy. Obviously, sales will be the metric for success, but do you think there's still interest in a plush premium sedan? Put your answers in the comments below. I'm keen to hear your thoughts. Me, I do like a sedan, something like an E-Class and a 5 Series. They're just so nice to drive. And on that old-fashioned sedan-loving note, that's the end of the weekly news. As always, I will put all the links in the description below. And hey, Cars.co.za, we have 74,000 vehicles for sale. We also have all cool things like finance calculator, and you're able to WhatsApp the dealer. So you could probably get a lead sent to your phone in less time than it took for you to watch this video. I will see you next week. Okay, bye.
Let's find what moves you. Cars.co.za.